Hi, Kutha here. And keeping with the theme of how I've been doing my videos and, uh, where I've been like doing a movie review and then do a game review, I'm, like I said, want to stay that way. And speaking that this time when I did my movie review, I stayed online for that. So for this, I figured for the game, I'll stay online as well. And I will be reviewing this game from Mindjoltgames.com called Retroshoot-360. Now, um, this is another one much like Heartless, the story of the Tin Man. Um, it's a free play game. You can go to the website, find it on there. If I remember correctly, it is on their shooter screen under R. And you should come up with Retroshoot and Retroshoot 360. I'll have a link down in the bar so that way you can go straight to it if you want. But Retroshoot 360 is the sequel to Retroshoot. They made some pretty interesting little innovations as to where Retroshoot was more of a side scroller, the where it was just like you move the ship around and stuff comes down from the top of the screen or comes out from the sides, but it's still all coming down from the top of you. And so 360 actually goes and like expands that to where it's now a top-down shooter, and you can move the ship around in 360 degrees, which is a nice little touch. I mean, it's definitely a step up from Retroshoot. Um, and it's like I said, it's for a shooter, it's pretty decent for just being this nice little freeware game that they cranked out. I mean, there's a lot of things going for it. Um, and there's a lot of familiar things going on for it too that just kind of, I mean, the biggest thing being that you can just really get into it real quick. There's not a lot of things in there that just like, well, you have to learn to do this and this and this and this and this. No, it's just real simple that you, as soon as you press start, I mean, it shows up with a training mode so you can get familiar to moving the ship around and work with the different power-ups and figure out how a lot of things go on and stuff. I mean, it's very, very simplistic, and that's actually part of the fun about it. I mean, like, the controls for it are real simple. It's the mouse. Okay, there is an additional function they have where you can hit the control button and it will cause your ship to stop, but you don't need it. And so the mouse, I mean, if you're like, say, moving one direction and you want to go the other direction, you just move the mouse in that direction and the ship immediately moves that direction. You don't actually have to stop dead in your tracks. However fast you move the mouse is how fast the ship moves. You don't have to worry about firing because the ship fires automatically. I mean, you would break your mouse if you actually tried to fire at the speed the ship in Retroshoot 360 shoots. So the most you have to do in terms of button clicking, like when it starts off, you can drop bombs. All you do is you hold down left click and it will drop a bomb. Later in the game, as you go through and you earn different power-ups, the ship automatically upgrades to the next weapon. And then later, after you do those upgrades to the next weapon, and so you'll eventually gain different types of firing weapons. You can fire like behind you, to the sides. Let's see, what is it? You can fire behind you, you can fire to the sides, and then you can fire, I believe, in all four directions. Or the four weapons even beyond just your normal firing pattern. Because normally you just fire straight ahead of you and stuff. But when you gain, like, backwards fire, where you're firing forward and firing back, it actually splits your fire in half and does it like that, And to the sides, it just takes your fire and makes it so you're firing off the sides, And then the final one, the four-way, you're just firing in all four directions, which all have their time and place in the game. The one I found most useful so far is just backwards fire. So, And it comes in handy, you know, having an option. I mean, to be able to switch from those 4 different firing patterns. Granted, you do have to earn them as you go through the game. You need to collect crystals that show up off the enemies, and good Lord knows you will be collecting crystals as they show up off the enemies. There's enough enemies that pop up on the screen in terms of stuff coming after you that picking up crystals is not a problem. It's picking up enough of them that's a problem. Because that's actually one of the drawbacks about Retro Shoot. I mean, yes, it's a very simplistic game, but the difficulty curve from it goes from stupid easy to wearing your ass as a hat difficulty. You know, especially in some of the boss fights. I've only encountered 2 as I've played this. You know, and like one of the bosses is this weird Pong inspired boss to where it's a big red ball bouncing between 2 green paddles. You have to avoid that thing while it shoots at you, while trying to avoid the Pong paddles, which means don't go too far to the left or right. And so, and this thing has a life bar the entire span of the screen. So difficulty curve, yeah, it gets up there, and I mean the game, like I said, it can be pretty brutal at time, and like I said, I haven't even gone all the way through it yet. But I mean that's one of the things I am actually definitely looking forward to. I mean I do want to get through this game and stuff, but I just know that it's just it's just going to keep getting more brutal as I go along, and I'm actually kind of fine with that. Because it does actually do a pretty good job of, well, my God, this level was just really, really tough to get through. And, oh, look, it's an asteroid level to where all I got to do is face off against the asteroids. Like I said, it does that. It does this weird, like, huge, massively steeping, curving difficulty, but does actually take a step back here and there to give you kind of a little bit of breather. So that way the game ain't just sitting there and kicking you through a wall. It is definitely one that I think that actually, you should just give it a try just for, sake of just, having a simple, good old-fashioned, mindless time waster. There's no, like I said, there's no World of Warcraft click on 50 million buttons to do 23 million different things, or the flip-flopping through weapons like you do in Halo Reach, instead of trying to figure out the attack patterns of the grunts coming at you this time, or it's like, oh my God, elites coming my way and whatnot. There's none of that and stuff like that. I mean, tougher enemies have life bars. And the life bars actually go down really quick. But when you got 50 of them on the screen, 50 enemies with life bars can prove to be a problem. So, but overall, though, it's still a really, really fun game to play. And you really can't go wrong with the price on it. Because, like I said, it's freeware. You can just go to Mindjolt.com and, put in Retroshoot-360. And it should pretty much take you right there. If it doesn't, I'm going to put a link in the video so that way you can actually go and check it out yourself. But overall, it's definitely a game. I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's nice, like I said, as the title says, retro look back at some stuff with like lots of cool little graphics and explosions and things like that. There's a lot of fun to be had with it. Especially when you start getting some of the higher power-ups. I mean, in which case, just, mowing your way through some of these levels is just a lot of fun. It's like, hey, they're gone. But, it is definitely something that, it's like, give it a try, check it out, can't really go wrong with it. And, I mean, in terms of availability, I mean, if you're on, like, say, Facebook or MySpace and stuff, Mindjoltgames.coms has apps for those social networking sites. So you can play it there too. You don't have to go to their site. I would suggest going to their site so that way you don't deal with the problems of actually having to deal with it on the social networking sites. But all in all, I mean, it's a fun game. Give it a try. And I hope you really like it. So, but anyhow, this is Kutha. I will see you guys later. And take care.